So welcome back. We are solving some numerical on finding the eigenvalue and eigenvector by using matrix method. So one numerical we have seen wherein you calculated the eigenvalues and the eigenvector. Okay. Now we will see the second numerical in which you are given this system where there are two masses m1 and m2 and spring stiffness k1 and k2. So this is the displacement of this mass m1 x1 in the downward direction and displacement of this mass x2 in the downward direction. So first we have to draw the free body diagram of this mass m1. So as it is pulled downward, so there will be a tension in this particular spring. So tension force in the spring will be indicated like this, and the opposite reaction of that over the mass will be like this. So this is the force that you have to represent on this particular mass acting in the upward direction, and its magnitude will be k1 into x1 because it is displaced by x1. So k1 into x1 is the force in the upward direction. Similarly, here this particular spring will be compressed. Okay, so the compression of this spring will be like this way, and therefore the component of the force acting over the m1 will be in the upward direction. So this upward direction force will be considered over here, and its magnitude is k2 into x1 minus x2. So we are considering that this particular x1 is more than the x2 and therefore it is getting compressed. If x1 is less, in that case it may happen that this will be under tension, but it is under compression because here x1 is more. So k2 into x1 minus x2 will be the upward force acting over this particular mass. Okay. Similarly, if I consider this mass m2, now what are the forces acting on this mass if I have to represent? So there is only one force, that is nothing but opposite of this, which will be acting in the downward direction. Okay, so this force is acting over this mass m2 and that is represented here, whose magnitude is equal to k2 into x1 minus x2. And as the motion of this first mass is downward, so inertia force will act in the opposite direction, that is magnitude m1 into x1 double dot. And similarly, this is also having motion in downward direction, so its inertia force will be m2 into x2 double dot in the upward direction. So if I make the sum of these forces, so as these three forces are in the same direction, upward direction, so I can make addition of this. So m1 x1 double dot plus k1 into x1 plus k2 into x1 minus x2. This I will write the equation for this, and if I write the equation for this, it will be m2 into x2 double dot minus k2 into x1 minus x2. Okay, that is equal to 0. So let me write this equation from the first free body diagram of the force. So this is equal to the sum of these three forces, m1 into x1 double dot plus k1 x1 plus k2 into x2 minus x1. Now just I am multiplying this k2 to this particular bracket, so and separating the term of x1 from this. So k1 into x1 and k2 x1, that will be there. So k1 plus k2 into x1 and minus k2 x2. So this is my equation from this particular free body diagram. Now from the second free body diagram, I will again express this addition of these two forces here and multiplying this k2 into x1 and minus plus k2 into x2. So this is m2 x2 double dot minus k2 x1 plus k2 into x2. Now I will express this particular equation in the matrix form. So mass matrix will be a diagonal matrix having diagonal elements only, square matrix, and stiffness matrix again a square matrix with symmetric one. So m1 and m2 will be the diagonal elements from the first equation. m1 because coefficient of x1 double dot is m1 and there is no x2 double dot in this equation, so that coefficient is 0. So again in the second equation, m2 into x2 double dot is there, so m2 into x2 double dot, and there is no coefficient of x1 double dot here, so it is 0. So this is my matrix. Then stiffness matrix, so coefficient of x1 and coefficient of x2 I have to observe on the first equation. So k1 plus k2 and minus k2. So I am writing here k1 plus k2 and minus k2. Now in the second equation, this is coefficient of x1, that is minus k2, and this is coefficient of x2, that is plus k2. So this is minus k2 and plus k2. So you will observe that it is symmetric, means it is this k12 and k21 is same. So minus k2 minus k2. So this is the way you have written the equation in the matrix form. Now we are going to solve this particular matrix. So for that, now we are going to make the substitution of this x1 double dot in terms of x1. So let us write first of all these masses given on this particular problem. So the problem given is like this. So mass m1 is 1.5 kg, mass m2 is 0.8 kg, and k1 and k2 are equal to 40 Newton per meter. Okay, so with this data now I will just put this data here. So 1.5 for the mass m1, 0.8 for the mass m2. Similarly for k1 plus k2, so k1 and k2 are, both are 40. So 40 plus 40 will be 80. So this is minus 40, and this is again k2, that is 40. So now I am going to make the substitution of this. X1 is equal to a1 sin of omega t plus phi 1, and x1 double dot will be equal to minus omega square a1 sin of omega t plus phi 1. So that this will be equal to minus omega square into x1. It means I have to put the value of this x1 double dot and x2 double dot, which will be equal to minus omega square into x1. Okay, so this I am multiplying here this and this column. Okay, so it will be 1.5. So this multiplication of this row and this column gives me 1.5 is here, and this is x1 whose value is minus omega square into x1. So it will be minus 1.5 omega square, and if I multiply this over here it will be 0.8. So it will be multiplied by omega square, so minus 0.8 omega square, and then this used to be added with this particular stiffness matrix. So multiplying this and then adding of this, so it will become 8. This first this and this multiplication addition if I consider, because you have to add these two elements, so it will be 80 plus this term. So this term is actually minus, so it will be minus 1.5 omega square. Then this is minus 40 will be as it is, because here it is 0, so minus 40 will be as it is. Then this 0 and this particular minus 40, so it will be again minus 40 as it is, this plus this, and this is minus 0.8 omega square. So and this is 40, so 40 minus 0.8 omega square, this way I will write it, and this is x1 x2, that is equal to 0. Okay, now again I have to simplify this. So it is 80 minus 1.5 omega square, and this is 40 minus 0.8 omega square, and this is minus 40 minus 40, that is equal to 0. So just have to find out the determinant of this. So this multiplied by this minus this multiplied by this, so this minus minus becomes plus, and 4 multiplied by 4 16, so 0 0, there is 1600 term will be there, and multiplication of these two will be giving me 1.2 into omega raised to 4 minus 124 omega raised to 2. Okay, then I will try to find out the roots of this equation. So let us consider that this z is equal to omega square, so it will be equation in terms of that z square. So ax square plus bx plus c in that form. So a value will be 1.2, b value will be minus 124, and c value will be 1600. And then if I use the minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon twice that equation to find out the roots of this equation, so I am getting the value of z1 as 15.1138 and z2 is equal to 88.2195. So let us get from here the root of this, means omega 1, so it will be 3.88 radian per second, and omega 2 will be equal to 9.39 radian per second. So these are nothing but the eigenvalues that we got, that is nothing but the natural frequencies for the system. So this is first part is over, that the natural frequencies you found out. Now we'll try to find out the mode shapes for this. So to get the mode shape, first eigenvector, we are going to put the value of omega 1 is equal to 3.88 into this equation. Okay, so here is the value of omega 1, that is 3.88. okay, so if I put this value, so I will get certain after multiplication and subtraction of these two, I will get the matrix like this. So it is 57.33, this is minus 40 minus 40, and this is 27.91. okay, now this row if I multiply to this particular vertical column, so I will get 553.733 x1 minus 40 x2, that is equal to 0. This gives me now this particular equation. So this is the equation. Now I have to find out the ratio of this x1 and x2. So I will put this particular term towards right hand side, and then writing this x1, okay, divided by 40, and this numerator will be taken over here. So this right side will be only x2 by 1. So I will be getting x1 by 0.696 and x2 by 1. It means the first mode shape is nothing but 0.696 and 1. It means if the displacement of this x2 is 1, the displacement of x1 will be equal to 0.696. That is what is the ratio of displacements. So both the displacement will be different, and but both are positive. Now if I put the value of omega 2 as 9.39, okay, in this expression, so I will get the second eigenvector. So it is 9.39 I am putting here, and trying to simplify this. So after simplification, I will be getting this value as 52.26 and this value as minus 30.57, while this is minus 40 as it is. Again, if I multiply this row and this column, so I am getting one equation of x1 and x2. So minus 52.26 x1 is equal minus 40 x2 is equal to 0. So this will be giving me minus 52.26 x1 and minus 40 x equal to 0. So I am putting these constants on one side, putting this x2 as 1. So x1, if it is minus 0.765, so x2 will be equal to 1. So it means for second natural frequency, if I consider the displacement of x2 as 1, so x1 will be minus 0.765. It means the displacements are of opposite nature. It means magnitudes are different and direction also different when the system is vibrating with the second natural frequency. So this is what about this particular numerical, where you have solved the or you calculate the natural frequencies and mode shapes by using the matrix method. So thank you very much.